Hey y'all. So this quarter I've read Ted Gioia's Music, A Subversive History and The Jazz Theory book by Mark Levine. In this presentation I'm going to talk about some harmonic concepts from that theory book that relate to the tonal harmony work that we've been doing this quarter. I'm going to showcase a couple compositions and melodic motifs that I've been developing this quarter, and then I'm going to share a couple quotes from Ted Gioia's book, Music, A Subversive History. So, one thing I've been working with is alterations of the 5 chord. So we might have like a harmonic progression that goes 1, 6, 2, 5. And that's pretty compelling. It's got a really nice resolute feel. But something we could do to spice this up, there are a couple ways. One would be to use the augmented 5 chord. So this augmented 5 chord creates this pull from this E flat to an E natural. I guess you'd call it a D sharp. But another alternation of the 5 chord would be using the flat 6 dominant chord, the A flat to G. So you might have a progression that goes 1, 6, 2, again. And this works really well in minor keys too, using the dominant flat 6. So if we're playing a C minor, another 5 chord alteration that I've been studying is the minor 5 to dominant 6 progression. So this is another, if we're going 1, 6, 2, 5, we might go 1, 6, 2, minor 5 to 6, which creates this new kind of pull where the 6 chord is kind of like your dominant functioning chord, because the minor 5 chord would be out of key, but it doesn't sound wrong. It sounds really compelling to that resolution. Okay, so here are some compositions and melodic ideas that I've been working with. Here's the first one. Okay. Another melodic motif I've been developing, something like this. That's using some of the concepts that I was talking about. And here's the final one that I've been exploring and working with, all concept. This one's a little bit weird. Go on to continue to be developed from there. So those are some of the melodic ideas I've been working with. But this Ted Gioia book I've been reading, and that some of you will read next quarter in Andrea's fall class, has been seriously eye-opening, and I really recommend it to anybody who's trying to seriously study music history. It paired very well with the Goodall text, and they offered a lot of contrasting ideas that really pushed my thinking forward. So Here's one quote. The historian of music needs to look beyond the prevailing ideological interpretations that the prevailing institutions impose after the fact, as they are almost always spinning a story to justify their own agendas. The music historian must work to recover the essence of the innovation, the prickly and disruptive force from the outside that set the whole process in motion. So what Joya is getting at here is that, one, a lot of history is written with the intention of pushing some kind of agenda. But another major thing is that the innovative music that we look back on and appreciate is very commonly done by people who are considered outsiders or who are not necessarily accepted within the mainstream culture of the day. And it typically takes a while for that transition to happen from the outside to the in, as Joya calls it. Another quote that I'm going to share here is, okay, when I tell people that music is closely connected to violence, a key theme in these passages, they often reject the notion out of hand. Perhaps because such a linkage seems to taint their own intimate relationship with favorite songs. Or perhaps because they sense their own vulnerability to the persuasion of the melodies. But recall that the first word that set in motion the whole canonic tradition of Western music is rage. Rage, goddess, sing the rage of Peleus' son Achilles. Murderous, doomed. This is the disturbing opening to Homer's Iliad, and the rage has never stopped. Every violent group in history has its motivating songs, whether it is the Nazis and Wagner, Charles Manson's Killing Crew and the Beatles' song Helter Skelter, or any of the other anthems that bloodthirsty groups have used since time immemorial. Perhaps in these cases we could describe it as the misuse of music, but the connection between song and bloodshed remains, and it will exist in the future just as it has in the past. That really affected me in some seriously powerful ways. But I'm happy to talk about it in the following group, so thank you guys.